Okay, here we go. AI taking the world over. I've been diving deep, trying to figure out what I can do with AI to be profitable. Because it's very clear that humans, especially this guy, are not good traders. So I've been trying to automate for the last year or so in the goal of just having systems that run without me, take out the emotion, and just let them go. So AI is getting better every day. I'm getting dumber every day. That's obvious. So is this the unlock to finally making my trading profitable? I'm using Claude AI plus Edgeful. That is my combo right now to dial in a very basic strategy to see if we can get a robust back test that when you forward test it doesn't completely fall apart. So like I said, humans are not good traders. That's what my dog Rosie keeps telling me, and I think she's right. So where are we at? So if you've been following along at all, thank you. Subscribe. Appreciate it. I'm not selling any course. I'm not selling anything. But really, human psychology is not meant for trading. So that's why I'm trying to do automation. And that's the whole point, is to make money without me sitting in front of the computer. Although I've spent an insane amount of chart time. So although my dog Rosie is better. But so where do we stand? So don't cry when you see the screen. I already did. So I had set up 5 different automated algos. And 3 of them were I set up with AI and a Pine script to run different concepts of how the orb breaks. 2 of them I was using Edgeful, which is, I'll go over briefly, but it's just a software that allows you to test a couple different strategies and automate them. So essentially you can take your Edgeful software in TradingView, set up your settings for orb, initial balance, engulfing candles, and that strategy will execute. I'm using a prop firm to test before we go live with real money, and good reason I did. So I've got, this is a new one, but 5 accounts that are all red, and I want to go over why they're red and why the backtest look so good, but in reality it did not. So all these in the backtest were extremely profitable. I've given them roughly, not all of them, but most of them 1 month. And it's just not looking good. So full month of trades, not a single one was profitable. I will say the good thing is I have not blown these accounts and I haven't taken revenge trades. So that is a win. And I haven't changed them. That was my problem before. I'd always go in, tweak them, change them. If I have that urge, I just make a new strategy. That will lose me money as well. So, and at the end of the day, these are just prop firms anyways, so it's not the end of the world. So Claude AI, I've been using ChatGPT mostly, but now this last month, I've been going and using Claude to really go through my strategy and figure out, why is this strategy not working, and how can we get a potentially profitable strategy? It has to be possible, or is day trade really not worth your time? Because over the last couple of years, all my real gains have been from individual stocks, buying and holding, or ETFs. But that's not the goal. I want to figure this out. So you got to come with a baseline strategy, I think, from staring at charts for way too long, which is my specialty. And for me, the opening range breakout has been one that always has made sense to me. This is just an example of a 15-minute chart on NQ. You have your opening range. Once a candle closes, it could be any time frame outside of that range, then your bot would enter, or yourself would enter. So this is an example of one where we had our opening range, huge candle, closes here, enters right here. There's definitely slippage, and then you have a couple exits here. So what was happening to my old algos, which are all gone, is I was trying to chase a really tiny move, but had a pretty large stop. Because NQ is, this. It whips, right? It goes up, it's down, it's extremely volatile, especially in today's trading environment. You just enter when a candle breaks, short or long. Longs have not been doing as good in the short window I'm showing you because we're, kind of in a downtrend. But again, I don't want to take any subjective analysis of this, just showing you how it works. So that was my baseline concept, open range breakout. And then I went to Claude and just was being curious, asking questions. So these are the questions I've asked it to try to get to a point of, I'll show you the new concept to make a new strategy. So here are the opening questions, and some are really stupid and basic, so forgive me. Can this day trading strategy be profitable? So Claude came back, proved it with academic and backtest evidence, which I've always, somewhat questioned. What does not profitable look like? That's all mine. Losing consistently. How long are they running? So this is going through my current setup. So I had current data on live trades and algos that I could already look at. 1 to 3 months, they're all not doing well, going through what's different with them. And then just kind of, again, asking what's my setup. I'm using Tradeify plus Edgeful, which is the webhook, I guess, and that goes to your Tradeify. There is constraints with using Edgeful. I had Pine scripts set up that did not have these constraints, had other settings, but that didn't seem to be an issue. I was using a single target. The orb filter I was using, but it just was large. And here is the big thing, and I'll show you at the end. Negative RR always looked good with high win rates, but when I went to trade it, I'm not going to use a negative RR anymore. The win rate was way less. And this is interesting. This set of questioning and really helped the backtest and my confidence. But again, we'll see in the forward test. So what does the backtest look like for a period that's not as good? So obviously, this is the backtest for 2017 to 2026 for this new setup. And, there's some flat periods, right? There's some drawdown. We have some very weak performance here. But if you look at the last, so it's not really 1,387, it's more like 690 because they count 2 trades for each TP and it's 2 TPs. So the last 365 or even 2 years, orb strategies crushed it, right? 62%, really good. But I wanted to use AI, and this is what Claude pushed back on me and said, hey, take your base strategy, which I was using, and how does it look on not so good periods? And then we iterated again and did that for more recent 24, 26. And then we went through and removed individual days and found one day that was dragging. And then what does widening the orb filter to? We actually tightened it. Proved tight filter is an orb. So we went tight and then went big. We really tested most of it. And then these are the questions that further refined the strategy. Average win versus loss in actual points. Slippage I knew was a problem, but it not only was a problem, it turned winners into losers because the targets were too small. And then the nice thing was when you go into here, you can do list of trades and you can actually download these trades and upload them in Claude. So that's the so-called excursion data, what I was doing. Excuse me. And that was giving me actual mathematical justified targets. Because that's my biggest issue here is how can I, with confidence, figure out a good take profit, a good stop loss? I have a rough idea of, based on 3 years of trying to do this, of like, okay, I think I know how many points it goes, what percent. But again, that's not pure data. That's just feeling and gut. So what does the real data do? And that gave me new targets. And then this is my favorite formula. What's your return divided by drawdown? Because that's really the metric that matters. So for this return by drawdown, this last year it looks nuts, but this is your return divided by your drawdown. So this is like 11 to 1, which again, we'll see it when I believe it, but even over the longer time frames, and again, a lot of backtesting I was only doing 21 or before or earlier, so they looked really good. Let's see if this will update. So that's over. I think it's 11 as well. So it looks great. So that's that metric there. So this is the insight that kind of unlocked everything. And I've been fighting a negative RR forever. Claude's actually wrong here. There was an orb size filter. It just was very, very wide. So those two explain why all 5 were failing. The win rate was artificially high. And then when I lost, it was on some bigger orbs. And so now we have a much tighter orb size, 2 targets, and a backtest that has massive, is at worst is a 1-to-1 RR, and then at best is a 1-to-5. So my first target is 2 targets here. I'll show you kind of what it would look like. Let's see if we can find a winning trade. So this looks like a winning trade. So this is an example. So this range is within my parameters. So it enters when a 15-minute candle breaks through. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. So you hit TP1 on the first candle after the entry. That's amazing. And then hit the second one here. So my first one is pretty large, and my stop's actually below the orb. And then the TP2 was up here. So you can see it's like, this is like a 1-to-1, and this is like a 1.5. So we were going from negative RR to a 1.5 and 1.1 roughly, skipping some days and really tightening up the orb size. So I think in a year, let's see, 178 divided by 2, 99 or something, or no, 89. So you're not going to take, only taking, how many is that a month? 4 trades? No, it's more than that. 9 trades a month, 8 trades a month, roughly. So I'm not taking every orb. That's probably going to hurt psychology when we have a period like this, when there's 4 days. And I guarantee when we go live, it's going to be, or that's actually 2 days because you have 2 TPs or 2 stops, maybe 6. Yeah. Of course, that's what's going to happen. But so right now, we're hoping Claude is smarter than I, and we have a backtest with large enough targets that the slippage impact is not going to be significant enough, because my smaller targets with negative RR made it impossible. So is AI finally going to make you like this video? Hopefully YouTube AI does. So if you made it this far, thank you. But Claude plus Edgeful is hopefully going to be my way to automate my futures trading and spend 90% of my time just making new setups and then just let it run. So I appreciate you guys. Talk soon. Subscribe. Good luck trading.